and hear me okay, but if there's any issues, please let me know, and we can see if we get those resolved before we begin. Many of you may already know me. My name is Jeanette Carson. I'm one of the international officers here at IT Sligo. And today we are going to be having a wonderful session introducing you to one of our postgraduate taught master programs, our MSc in Bioprocessing Science. So today, Today on the call, I'm delighted to introduce you to two more people from IT Sligo. So today we have in attendance, we have Professor Neville McClenaghan, who's the Head of Department of the Life Sciences in IT Sligo. And we also have Dr. Stephen Daly, who's the Lecturer and Programme Chair in the Department of Life Sciences as well. Neville and Stephen, would you like to take the opportunity to introduce yourselves to everyone here today?
Yep.
Okay, Stephen, do you want to go first?
Yep. Okay. Hi, everybody. Dr. Stephen Daly is my name. I've been lecturing here in IT Sligo for the last 7.5 years, and I'm the Programme Chair for our Medical Biotechnology Programme, which this MSc in Bioprocessing comes under.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Neville McClenaghan. I have recently joined IT Sligo after working in GMIT formerly, and then formerly at the University of Ulster in Coleraine in Northern Ireland. So I'm delighted to be here and delighted to promote this programme. We have a range of different programmes. You're probably aware of them already. Of course, there's a lot of information on the website, but hopefully everyone finds today's session very useful. And please don't hesitate to follow up with us after the event if there's any further questions that you think of after today. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you so much. And we are do very much encourage questions. So during the presentation, if you do have any questions, queries, please pop them into the chat box, and we will make sure that they're all addressed before the end of the session. So before we go in depth into MSc Bioprocessing Science, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction, more of a general introduction to postgraduate studies at IT Sligo. So I'm going to skip our video, just unfortunately as sound is not quite working there at the minute. But IT Sligo, we are an institute of technology that is located on the west of Ireland in a lovely place called Sligo. We are located on a beautiful modern 72-acre campus, and we have 7,000 students from over 36 different countries. We offer programs at foundation, bachelor and postgraduate level across a wide range of discipline and academic subjects. Currently, IT Sligo is working in order to achieve technological university status in conjunction with LYIT and GMIT, and we hope to have designation by 2022. So it's an incredibly exciting time for IT Sligo and also for our students who are joining us in the future academic intakes. When students are looking for postgraduate study, they have so many different options open to them. And we are, of course, an Irish institution. And why should students think about Ireland for postgraduate study? There's many different reasons. We're known internationally for the high quality of our education, and we're also known to be a safe, friendly and welcoming place for students to call home and have a fantastic academic experience during their studies here. Ireland also has a dynamic and thriving economy, and we are home to large numbers of multinational companies across a broad range of different sectors. In Ireland, you'd find the top 5 ICT companies in the world, and you would also find the top 10 global pharmaceutical, the top 14 out of the top 15 medical device companies as well. So these large numbers of multinational companies provide our graduates with a wide range of different opportunities and experiences. Students who complete a master's programme in Ireland have the opportunity to remain in Ireland for up to 2 years for the purposes of seeking graduate employment through the 3rd level graduate scheme. So there's a broad range of different options and opportunities for students who choose to study postgraduate studies in Ireland. For students who are looking at postgraduate studies in IT Sligo, it gives them an opportunity to really explore and specialise in their chosen area of discipline or academic study. All of our programs are developed in alignment with industry demands and requirements so that when our students graduate, they have all the skills and knowledge necessary to successfully compete within their chosen career path or research field. And our success is reflected within our high graduate employability rate of 96%. But not only do we provide an excellent academic experience for students, we do so within a supportive learning environment. And students will have access to a wide range of different student services and supports during their academic studies at IT Sligo. That includes our mentoring and counselling services, our access office, academic and learning support, and also our careers office, which is there to provide guidance and information for students about their future opportunities. On campus, students will find a wide range of teaching, learning, study and social facilities and an active student community with opportunities to get involved in different clubs, societies, sporting events and a wide range of other options. In terms of choices for students, so for international students looking for full-time master's programs, we offer a small number of specialised programs at master's level, including our Bioprocessing Science, our Masters in Engineering and Structural Engineering, our Masters in Engineering in Geotechnical Engineering, and also our Masters in Arts in Creative Practice and other specialisms as well. In terms of intakes, all of our postgraduate programs have an intake in September each year and a duration of 12 months. The one exception there is the MA in Creative Practice of Specialism, which is spread across 15 months in duration. In terms of our tuition fees, so our international tuition fees are €11,500 per academic year, but we do offer a broad range of scholarship opportunities for students as well. So we have 10 and 15% tuition fee scholarships open to eligible students. There's no separate application process for these scholarships. So when a student makes an application to IT Sligo, we will consider them for the scholarship, and if they're eligible, they will receive it as part of their offer letter to study on a programme at IT Sligo. So this is an opportunity for students to kind of have a more affordable option in terms of tuition fees. And for students specifically from China, IT Sligo is also part of the CLADA scholarship program. So we are offering this year, there's 4 scholarships for postgraduate courses, offering a tuition fee scholarship of €2,500. This is a competitive scholarship and students do need to make a separate application, but it's a fantastic way for students to earn for their studies at postgraduate level at IT Sligo. In terms of living costs for postgraduate students, so the cost of living in Ireland and in Sligo will vary depending on a student's type of lifestyle and also their choice of accommodation. But as a general estimate, €10,000 per academic year is the approximate cost that students will spend throughout their studies. One of the key benefits of IT Sligo is that it has a lower cost of living compared to other kind of larger urban centres in Ireland for the likes of Dublin, Cork and Limerick. So this Sligo offers students a fantastic opportunity to get all of the experiences of a dynamic and active urban centre, but with a lower cost of living, ensuring that their funding and resources are able to be spread across to gain a better kind of experience in that relation. So those are the kind of key aspects that students should be aware of in terms of postgraduate study at IT Sligo. At the moment, are there any questions about what I have kind of broad overview of, or anywhere else that you would like to learn more about in terms of postgraduate study? Okay, so I don't think we have any questions there at the moment. So what we can do then is we can progress into what I know you're all being very excited to hear and learn about, which is our postgraduate programme at MSc Bioprocessing Science. So I'm going to hand over to Dr. Stephen Daly to lead on this and to give you a fantastic insight into this programme of ours.
Great. Excellent. Thanks, Jeanette. So, hello, everybody. and welcome to this presentation. Delighted to be here today. My name is Dr. Stephen Daly, and I'm going to just talk to you about this course a little bit and a little bit about myself. Jeanette, if you can proceed on to the next slide. Yeah. Okay, so just very briefly a little bit about myself. I suppose I've about 17 years post-qualification experience at this stage. I'm a lecturer here in IT Sligo the past 7.5 years in the area of biopharmaceutical science, and I specialise very much in the regulatory elements of that and the validation and Lean Six Sigma elements. Prior to that, I worked in industry for 9 years here in Sligo for a company called Abbott Diagnostics. I worked in technical support and technical operations. And I think the experience I gained there very much helps me now as a lecturer in that I've got a lot of real world experience that a lot of my colleagues would. Prior to that, I worked for a company called Olympus, who make the cameras, who were in diagnostics, and I did my PhD and postdoc in Dublin City University. Jeanette, next slide, please. Yeah, so bioprocessing, I suppose it's a word maybe some people are becoming a little bit more familiar with everything that's going on in the pandemic, but give you a definition about it. It's the specific process that uses complete living cells or their components to generate therapeutic products such as insulin, vaccines, hormones, monoclonal antibodies, gene therapies, cell therapies. So it's really biotechnology is another word, or biopharmaceutical manufacturing. A lot of the modern day pharmaceutical drugs that are being manufactured are now what we call to be biological products. The traditional drugs, like what we call aspirin and paracetamol, you will often hear the term small molecule, but these are chemical entities. They're derived from, I suppose, chemistry, if you like. Modern day drugs, many of the modern day drugs come from biological processes. And that's where you're actually using a living cell to actually produce your drug for you. So many of these drugs are actually proteins. So if any of you have heard of a drug called Humira, which is probably the biggest selling drug in the world, it's made by AbbVie, and that's a monoclonal antibody for people with rheumatoid arthritis and many other, I suppose, indications. Many of the current vaccines for COVID-19, including the AstraZeneca one, are made using bioprocessing techniques as well, or processes. So it's very relevant, I suppose, to what's going on, but equally, just separate to that, it's very much at the forefront anyway of the pharmaceutical industry. So bioprocessing, the biopharmaceutical industry has been around about, we'll say, approximately 20 years. So there's been a huge transition from the traditional pharmaceutical industry to biopharma production. And a lot of retraining has been required as a result of that by the industry as a whole, both in Ireland and worldwide. The industry has been working very closely with third-level institutes such as ourselves, and also training centres such as NIBRT. So NIBRT is the National Institute for Bioprocessing Research and Training. It's based in Blackrock in Dublin. I've actually got it on the next slide, actually, Jeanette, if you want to bring it up. It's based in Blackrock in Dublin, and it was actually a collaboration between ourselves and IT Sligo, University College Dublin, Trinity College Dublin, and Dublin City University. And it's actually set up, it's really a training centre for the biopharmaceutical industry. It's like a mini biopharmaceutical processing plant. We've actually developed a suite of training courses and accredited training courses with them, and we've got, I suppose, part-time courses from level 6 all the way from level 9 with them. This Masters in Bioprocessing is also linked to it in that we've got training in NIBRT as part of it. The big benefit of going to NIBRT is that it's real-world experience. All of the world's biopharmaceutical companies are actually going there, not only from Ireland, but across the world to get training because it's quite a unique facility. So it's great. It's great for company or for students to actually have access to that sort of real world training. Next slide, please. Bioprocessing industry in Ireland, we're very, very lucky here in that it's it's extremely, I suppose, there's a lot of it here right now. All of the top world's pharmaceutical companies are here. As you can see there, there's a little graph there showing the global biologic sales. And they've gone from, let's say, about less than 50 million, I think, in 2000, all the way up to about 400 billion in current day. So there really is growing all the time. If you've heard, I said the likes of Humira, which is huge, Enbrel, which is made by Pfizer, that's manufactured in Ireland. Regeneron are a company in Limerick. They're taking on a lot of people as well, and they've made a number of treatments for COVID-19. There's also a company called Woozy Biopharma in Dundalk in Ireland who are also making are building a new vaccine manufacturing facility there as well. A lot of biopharma in Cork with the likes of Lilly, Shearing Plough, and no longer Shearing Plough, Merck Sharp and Dome, and companies like that. So there's a lot of jobs right now in the industry. And we're seeing that with our graduates, that they're actually getting jobs very, very quickly out of college. They don't have to wait around long periods of time. Some of them actually get them before they even graduate and very soon into that summer. And I think that's very much testament to how fertile the industry is here right now. Next slide, please. So it's a great time to be in the area. Our Masters of Science in Bioprocessing, and we also have a postgraduate cert built into it, was developed by ourselves, IT Sligo, for the growing needs for the biopharm industry as a result, and the constant need for it, both in this region, in Sligo, and also nationally. Next slide, please. To tell you a little bit about the course, it's a full-time, one-year course. It's built, I suppose, in two little segments. We've got 30 credits of actually taught modules, and then we've got 60 credits of an actual research thesis. So in semester one, which runs from September approximately till December, they carry out those subjects there. Those subjects, so upstream processing, downstream processing, quality control, formulation and delivery of biopharmaceuticals, regulation and compliance, which I teach myself, and research methods. These subjects, I suppose, give the students the overview of the entire biopharmaceutical process. You start at the upstream, which is the very beginning. You finish at the downstream, then you formulate it to make an actual product. You test it, etc. We go through the entire process from start to finish. So what the students get there is a very comprehensive helicopter view, but lots of detail in it as well, in understanding what goes on in that. We also covered the regulation areas, how you validate these processes, and also things like Lean Six Sigma. The research methods module, of course, is central to, I suppose, preparing the students for their thesis, which they carry out, or dissertation, which they carry out in semester two. This is a 60 credit module, so there's quite a substantial body of work carried out in it, and these can be lab or desk-based projects. And I suppose the research methods really prepares the students for that. So they get a very comprehensive preparation to actually carry out that and complete the masters, and are very rounded as graduates accordingly. Next slide, please. So, yeah. So how do you get into the course? What's the requirements? So I have it written out here, I suppose. Applicants should normally have a primary degree, which is level 8, equivalent to an NFQ honours degree in Ireland, I suppose, with a minimum of a second-class honours in a relevant branch of science or engineering. It's really important for us that they have a good scientific background coming into the course, that they have a good lab competency as well, because there is quite a lot of lab work in this course, and we like students to have a good background in that. Sometimes people with engineering backgrounds are also suitable, depending on their qualification, their specific qualification experience. But practical skills are very important. If you go on and then complete the 30 credits in semester one, if you decided to exit after that, that is an option, and you could complete with a level 9 postgraduate certificate in bioprocessing. However, the vast majority go on and complete it, and they then go on and do the actual thesis, and they get the level 9 masters in bioprocessing, which is 90 credits. And then if they want, they can go on and study further at level 10 in PhD level if they were interested. Next slide. So you've probably heard maybe a couple of my masters in bioprocessing. What makes our different? Well, I suppose what you're getting, first of all, you're getting a really rewarding career in a sector that will help improve people's health and cure diseases. There are so many choices for graduates right now. There's a huge shortage of employees and graduates in the area. So it's a really good time to be coming out as a graduate in this course. We've got the close link with NIBRT in Dublin, and that really gives our students a real edge, because they get real world training there. Okay, we bring them up there in semester one, and they get to see what goes on in industry for real. Because of our link with NIBRT, we're also getting very close feedback from our employers as well about our graduates, what's expected in our courses, how we need to be continuing to improve in our courses as well. So that helps us improve what we're developing as well. The subjects, of course, are industry relevant. The third one, I have it written there in red, but a strong focus on the soft skills. So the one thing, when we speak to employers, and we do both through NIBRT and with our online students, and also as part of our quality assurance programmatic review, we ask employers regularly, what do they want in their graduates? And it's rare that they say to us, we want somebody with more, upstream processing, or we want somebody with more, testing techniques. It's always the soft skills. So what do I mean when I say the soft skills? Communication, teamwork, problem solving, interpersonal skills. Can they get on? That's what they really want. Are they the right fit? Do they have that natural curiosity for the subject? They're the things the employers want to see. And we focus on that very much in this course, both through case studies that we put through the subjects themselves and also as part of the research methods subject as well. So we try and develop the students very much in that area because that's what's going to discern them from somebody else once they go and apply for jobs. Real hands-on experience, the lab work, the practical work, of course, is very, very important. And we have that built into 3 modules in semester 1 and also as part of the lab work in the research project in semester 2 also. If you're familiar with IT Sligo, you will know we have state-of-the-art equipment and facility. Our science building alone is only 4 years old, so it's extremely modern. We've got a lot of equipment, which is all very modern and very well kitted out. And of course, the real benefit, low student to lecturer ratios. So that's the nice thing. We get to know our students. We're aware of them and what might be going on with them, and we can work with them very closely. And I think that's really what very much discerns IT Sligo from other places. Next slide. The main career areas, where they're working. So I have given you an idea, okay, but I suppose they're actually going into a lot of different areas as well. The biopharmaceutical industry is huge. There's opportunities here in Sligo with the likes of AbbVie and Abbott. So they're working on maybe developing manufacturing insulin for diabetics, manufacturing monoclonal antibodies with the likes of Regeneron and Pfizer, vaccine development with the likes of Woozy. So I'm just putting it out there, different companies. Diagnostic kits, very important right now for COVID-19, but also diagnostic kits are used every day in hospital labs as we speak for the likes of hepatitis, HIV, pregnancy, cancer markers. This is a huge industry in Ireland, and our graduates are getting a lot of jobs in that area as well because a lot of the subjects are cognate to that. Abbott Diagnostics here in Sligo are a huge employer of our graduates, and a lot of them are getting jobs there as well. They employ maybe about 400 people here and they're expanding. So there's a lot of opportunities in that area as well, and also across the country. Some of our students go into the medical device area. It's not quite perfectly aligned, but they like our graduates because a lot of medical devices are now what we call to be combination devices. That's what we call to be a drug and a medical device combined. So if you look up there in the top right-hand corner of this slide, you'll see the Humira pen. So for somebody who's taking this Humira, which is for rheumatoid arthritis, the drug actually comes in a little pen, which you can actually deliver to yourself. It's got what's called an auto-injector. So the drug, that is both a drug and a medical device. So therefore, you require a combination of knowledge for that, and that's why medical device companies also like our graduates because they have that bioprocessing knowledge. As it happens, that pen is made in Sligo here in Ireland by AbbVie. That's the biggest selling drug in the world, and we're very proud that it's made here in Sligo. And also further research. Some of the people who are more research focused want to go on and do PhDs, and they have that opportunity both through our researchers here in IT Sligo, including myself, and also if they want to go abroad or to other colleges as well. So I suppose it's a good time, as I said, to be coming out. Jeanette, if you can just move on to the next slide. To give you an idea, Jeanette, there's probably a few little logos. You might hit the next enter and they'll come up, I think, but it doesn't matter if they don't. It gives you an idea of where our graduates are. So these are all real people. I all know these people. I'm linked into them in LinkedIn so I can see where they are and what they're doing. They're all graduates from this course, the Masters in Bioprocessing. A girl, she's a tech support scientist with Abbott here in Sligo. Another lady, she's a senior GMP consultant for a company in the US. Another girl in Abbott, someone else has worked in regulatory affairs. We also have some international students. 2 of them have recently got jobs with Regeneron and Limerick, so delighted to see that. And also a girl working for Randox also. So there's jobs there, there's opportunities, and we're seeing our graduates convert what they're learning into actually getting gainful employment, and it's something that we're always very proud of to see them doing well and coming back to me or whoever for a reference. It's always nice to see their success as well. I think next slide maybe. Yeah. Now I'm not sure, Jeanette, whether it's possible to play that or not. It's a YouTube video. Just this girl, Pamela, she graduated from the course a couple of years ago. Pamela actually had a very interesting background. She was actually a home economics teacher. So inside Sligo, we also have separate to IT Sligo, we have a college for home economics teaching. This girl had a strong biology training or background from it and decided to do our Masters in Bioprocessing. And when she came in, she just flourished in it. She did so well, she came top of the year, and she got a graduate program with Abbott in Donegal, where they make glucose monitors for diabetes. So she's a great story. I'm not sure, Jeanette, is it possible to play? If it's not, that's fine. Maybe you can look at it afterwards.
We're having a little bit of audio difficulty with the
No
clips,
problem.
but we'll be sharing all the slides and videos, so with everyone who is in attendance, so we'll be able to have
Perfect. Yeah, so you'll get it there, and you'll also find that on YouTube on the IT Sligo channel. So I think that's everything from me, Jeanette. I think you can move on to the last slide. Listen, I think anyone who comes here will enjoy it. They'll enjoy certainly the experience in the northwest of Ireland and Sligo, but I think the academic experience is one that they will certainly get a lot out of, both from, I suppose, the training and the learning, but I think it's a whole on campus and everything like that. So if anybody's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Is fantastic, Stephen. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction.
No
so I know we've got some questions coming in through the chat box, so let's kind of work our way through them. We've got a couple of questions coming in. So the first one is related to the MSc Bioprocessing Science. So are students with a major in medicine eligible to apply?
Major in medicine. I suppose the big thing, yes, I suppose on paper they are, yeah, because I suppose it does help people cross-train a little bit over. The big thing for us, I think, is seeing what sort of lab competencies they have. And I think we would have to review them on a case-by-case basis and see, do the students have lab work? If they don't have any lab training, I would be reluctant to allow them onto the course, if you like, because, you know, there is quite a lot of competencies. There is an expectation at level 9 that the students are competent in basic things and that they can hit the ground running. If you have to take a step back with somebody and you have to train them, that it's not helping them or the class. So I think I would have to see what the actual content of the course is. In medicine, they probably are doing some lab work. So at a glance, I would think yes, but I would need to see it in a bit more detail.
That's great. Thanks very much for clarifying. Another question here, is it 2 years or 1 year to achieve the MSc?
It's 1 year. So it starts in September and then it basically completes in late August the following year. 1 year, 12 months.
Great. And the minimum requirement is a 2-1 or a 2-2?
A 2-2 would be considered, yeah, absolutely.
That's great. Brilliant. Okay, so I think those are all the questions specific to the MSc. If there's any more that anyone has, please feel free to put them through. And I know we have some other questions here related to kind of scholarships, so we'll go through them as we go. So I've got a question about whether the 10 and 15% are guaranteed for all international applications. So the 10 and 15% tuition fee scholarships are dependent on a student's country of origin. So depending on where the student is coming from, they may be eligible for 10% or 15% tuition fee scholarship. So that's the kind of how it is that's the criteria basis on which they are applied for. So full details are on our website, but any specific questions or any specific applicants, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to clarify what the student would be eligible for. So let me see. I also have Duolingo results for bachelor and master's degrees. Yep, so we do accept Duolingo for English language requirements. In terms of English language qualifications that we accept, so we accept a wide range of different qualifications, and I'll share the full kind of requirements for those to everyone as well. But we do accept Duolingo as English. So we also have a question about accommodation. So in terms of accommodation, so whilst IT Sligo does not own or manage its own accommodation, there are a wide range of different accommodation, private accommodation options available to students that are located very close to campus. So this includes 7 student villages. So these are accommodation that are specifically catered to students and offer a wide range of different amenities. Students also have the option to rent from private landlords landlords in the kind of local areas, which is also an option depending on what students want to do and their kind of preference on that basis. In terms of kind of rent, it can vary depending on whether a student wants to have their own room or be in a kind of shared accommodation, but generally you're looking around an average for rent at approximately 300 to 350 per month, but it does vary depending on the type of accommodation that a student wants. But there is also a lot of information and guidance about the different student villages on the IT Sligo website. So if there are any students exploring options, that's a really good place to start, as it kind of goes through the different types available and the different amenities depending on a student's choice to start with. So in terms of, I've got a question about share the benefits for students who will apply this year if ITS does achieve technological university status in 2022. So IT Sligo is working in conjunction with GMIT and LOIIT to gain technological university status, and we hope that that will be awarded in 2022. So that will be fantastic for students in many different ways. So students will be part then of a much wider and larger kind of academic community, and there'll be opportunities there for students to be involved in a wide range of different options and experiences as well. One of the key benefits for students is that they would be graduating from a technological university, so that can be very important for students, particularly for kind of career opportunities and looking towards different experiences in their future. So there's a wide range of different options open to students, and it's a very exciting time in Sligo to explore. So we're looking very much forward to 2022. Okay, so I think that is all of the questions that have come through. If there are any other questions that anyone would like to go over, I'm more than happy to answer them now. Otherwise, feel free to get in contact with ourselves. I'll put the contact details in the chat box, and we're more than happy to answer any specific questions about individual students or applicants and give guidance on specific areas.
Sorry, Jeanette, can I come in quickly?
You are most welcome to, Neville, yes.
Yeah, no, I think it's very important. I mean, Stephen has said in his talk already that a lot of aspects of what you gain from your university college education is really around the experiential part. And as Stephen explains, the whole idea of this program is really to give people those skills that are really valued by industry. And I think that link up with NIBRT is something that is really a strong feature of the course. The students will get experience and be taught directly by people that are working and associated with NIBRT. And I think that really is important for them and for developing not only their academic qualifications, but also their professional experience. And that's why the employability rate of students coming off a program like this is so high. So I think one of the features that really sets us apart as an institute, and one of the reasons why I came to join the institute, is because of the reputation it's held within Ireland. It's one of the top performing areas in the college in terms of the Department of Life Sciences having a huge number of students covering a whole range of different programs. But we're particularly proud of these ones that actually have that direct link with industry through NIBRT and through the people that will be helping teach the course. So this course is not only taught by our staff in IT Sligo, but a range of external individuals as well. And I think another important feature of the course is that extended project. So there's a substantial project in this program, which again is highly sought after by employers. So there's a number of different features which are kind of unique about this program, not only with regards to the fact that we're hosting it, but also the fact that it's got external input and there is that substantive practical type project. So all of those different features I think are very important and often lost when we're trying to market programs like this. So I'd encourage you just to, if you're interested, to study a little bit more detail on the website, and as I said, follow up with any additional questions if you have after the event. Thank you.
That's great, Neville. Thank you very much for that. There's another question that's come in terms of by the time students graduate, would they obtain a degree from the technological university? So yes, if the application process goes in plan and we receive our designation in 2022, students who are graduating from that point would receive their graduation from the technological university. So that would be correct for future applicants coming through, assuming everything works to the timetable that we are currently expecting. And in terms of the Duolingo requirement, so as a general requirement, so the minimum requirement for postgraduate programs is generally 100, and then for bachelor programs it's 90 in the Duolingo as well. But we do accept a broad range of other English language qualifications, including IELTS, TOEFL, etc. So if anyone does have specific questions about English language requirements, feel free to let us know and I will be happy to advise on specifics. So yeah, and I'm going to pop in our kind of international office email address. So if anyone has any questions or would like to follow up, please let us know, and whether they're about IT Sligo more generally or specifically about the programme. We'd encourage you to get in contact and we'll make sure that they're kind of responded to, get all the information and guidance that you need. Okay. Great. Okay. So I think that has been a wonderful kind of overview of postgraduate studies and particularly our MSc in Bioprocessing Science. I want to take this opportunity to thank both Neville and Stephen for giving their time and a fantastic introduction, and for you all for joining us here today to learn a little bit more about IT Sligo. I hope you all have a lovely week ahead, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you do need any further guidance, information or support.
Okay, Jeanette, thank you very much.
No problem in the slightest. I will stay on the call, so if anyone does have specific questions that they want to talk with me about, I'll be here for a couple more minutes.
Okay, thanks Jeanette and thanks Stephen, and indeed thanks to all of you for giving your time this morning. Pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you, everybody. You know, bye, Jeanette. Bye, Neville.
Bye-bye.
Take care. If anyone has any specific questions that they do want to talk to me about, feel free to pop them in the chat box, or if you want to unmic and just have a conversation, that's grand as well. Otherwise, have a lovely day. Thank you very much for attending, and do reach out to me. I'll also put my personal email address in there as well, so you can reach out to me directly as well if you do have any further questions. We can go from there. Okay, so I don't see any of the further questions coming in, so I am going to leave the session here. But thank you very much for attending, and I hope that we'll be in contact very soon. Take care and goodbye.